Hello and welcome to another Sprues and Brews unboxing. Today we're looking at the new Vindicator Siege Tank for Warhammer The Horus Heresy. So first of all, I want to say a massive thanks to Games Workshop for sending us a free review copy a little ahead of time to show off on the channel and get painted up. In this video we'll be looking at the kit, seeing how it all goes together, and then towards the end of it I'll have this assembled and painted so we can see what it looks like in the flesh. But yeah, we've had a lot of vehicles come out in the last year since the Horus Heresy was released, and this is the latest one, the Vindicator Siege Tank. And if you flip it over, it actually builds two variations of the Vindicator as well. So you've got the standard one with the Demolisher cannon, but you can also build it with the centerline mounted Magna Laser Destroyer. So yeah, a couple of options there, which is nice. I don't know how interchangeable they'll be. Hopefully they are, but we'll have a look at that when we go to look through the instructions. Obviously if I can build that so they are swappable, maybe with some magnets, I'll talk about that at the end of the video once I've built the thing as well. But yeah, without further ado, should we crack this open and see what we get inside? So I suspect this kit is going to have majority of the Rhino kit that we've seen before in the past. We'll have a look at the instructions in a little bit, but we'll see what we get in the box. Not much in the way of sprue in this one. So we've got the standard kind of pin tool and upgrade sprue that we've seen in all of the Space Marine vehicles. Yeah, not much more to say about this one because we've seen it lots before. What is new in this kit though is a whole frame that builds the Demolisher, and it looks like all the weapon options are on there too. So just like the Predator kit is basically an extra sprue that turns the Rhino into a Predator, this works in much the same way, with this unique sprue having all of the Vindictor parts and is used in conjunction with the standard Predator sprue, sorry, the standard Rhino sprue, in order to build up the unique profile of the Vindicator. So yeah, really nice tank. Obviously this will have some use in 40k as well for people who want to use Vindicators there. I'm undecided what weapon I want to give it if it's not swappable. Maybe just the classic Demolisher cannon. I'll probably be painting this up in Sons of Horus colours too, to go with the guys ready for the new campaign supplements. The other sprue in the box is the standard Rhino kit. So you've got not the top of the Rhino, but the sides, the tracks, all those standard bits, and then the kind of unique Vindicator bits go on top of that in order to complete the build. So again, we've seen that before, and then as with all of the tanks, we also get a transfer sheet for the Sons of Horus and the Imperial Fists. So before we jump to the future, we're going to have a look at the instructions and see how this thing goes together, because we might get some clues in here as to, just how customizable this is. So obviously starting out, very much like a Rhino, we build the basic assembly, and then, again, lots of bits that are very much the same as the Rhino. It starts getting some differences with this front panel here, which holds the kind of main weapon. Now, interesting that the gun doesn't seem to go through that, which might hint that we are able to swap out those guns, which would be really useful if we can. So, let's see, the instructions split here on whether we're building the Vindicator with the Demolisher cannon or the Magna Laser array. Now, it looks like this bit goes in there and then the gun plugs onto it. Now hopefully they both use the same mount, and maybe with just blue tack or resistance or with a little magnet there, you're able to swap them. And then a kind of gun shield goes over this. Now I think that gun shield is slightly different on both of the builds. I may be wrong there though. What's that? Parts 16, 17 and 18. Let's have a look at the other side. So again, that plugs onto that part of V12. It is the same part there. So I'm fairly sure you'd be able to just push fit it or use a magnet to get those two swappable, and then the shield is different. So if you put a little magnet on here, yeah, I reckon either using pins or magnets you can make that fairly easy to swap out those two weapons, so you can get both tanks out of the same kit. Obviously I'll report back at the end if I do manage to do that, but looking at this, I think that is pretty feasible. And then finally it just goes through the various pin tool options. You get a lot in this tank. Same as all the other Space Marines, you get all the options there to do that, which is pretty nice. So yeah, and again, I'll let you know how modular this is in the next half of the video. So see you back in a second in the far future once this is built and painted. And here is a look at the finished Vindicator Siege Tank. Painted this one up in Sons of Horus colours to go with my Sons of Horus for the Siege of Cthonia expansion. In the end, I decided to build it with the Magna laser destroyer. A, I think it looks cooler, and B, I think from a rules point of view it's probably better in game. Now for magnetisation, I think it probably would be possible to do it. The piece that kind of goes inside the tank, if you wanted to kind of have the elevation of the gun moving, you're not meant to kind of glue it in place, but what you could do is fix that in place, put a magnet inside it, and then have the kind of corresponding barrel being magnetised as well. Obviously you lose that ability to kind of pivot the turret up and down, but I don't think it's really needed anyway. The only other bit that you'd have to be careful with is the kind of shield on the front of it that you can see kind of coming around now. There's two different shields, one for this gun, one for the other gun. So as it's turning around now on the right, what you could probably do is put a little magnet at the front there, on each side, and then have that whole kind of shield lift off and then replace it with the other one for the other gun. You could probably get away with one of them. I'm not sure how well the other gun would fit in that one, so you probably would need to do a little bit of a test fit to make sure it works. Obviously on the top of the tank as well, you've got a lot of stuff that kind of goes over the basic body. You can see it just about there on the top, the kind of piping and stuff that goes on if you give it the laser destroyer. Now obviously you could just build it one way and swap it out that way. I believe that is a separate piece that you could just lift off though as well, if you do want it modular. Again, realistically, I don't think I'd be swapping the armaments of this tank anyway. I would just have it with the stock gun on it. I think it's the coolest one, and I think it's the best one from a gameplay point of view as well. But no, it's a really fun tank to put together. I did find that I've built a few Rhino chassis tanks and they've been fine, and this one was a little bit tougher to get those side kind of panels on. I don't know if the sprue had warped a little bit maybe, but the new Vindicator parts went together beautifully, no issues there, and like with all the other Horus Heresy tanks, really quick to just paint up with the airbrush. Obviously this isn't going to win any golden demons, but a nice quick Sons of Horus scheme using the Sons of Horus Citadel air paint. So I forget what they're called, but there's two paints, Sons of Horus green and Lupercal green I think. I forget what they're called, but yeah, quick job with them with the airbrush. Paint up the metals, put some washers on. Nice quick scheme here. I could probably go to town and add some weathering and stuff, but obviously this was a nice quick one I put together in time for the review. And I am looking to do a few more tanks for my Sons of Horus as well. Obviously there's a lot of tanks available now in the Horus Heresy range, and I'd quite like to be able to field a fully kind of mechanised Sons of Horus force, so lots of Predators and Sakarans using the Rite of War that unlocks them as troops. I think it'd be pretty fun. Now obviously also up today, which at the time of recording this I haven't got, but will be on the website today over on spruesandbrews.com, we have got the write-up of the Siege of Cthonia, so check that out. We'll be sharing kind of all the missions and the ins and outs of that, what new stuff's added. There's Zone Mortalis rules in there and Zone Mortalis missions, and there's new options for your games of Horus Heresy as well, particularly new bits for the Imperial Fists and the Sons of Horus too, so that is all over on the website, check it out. Today we've also got our review of the new Kill Team expansion, which is like a narrative campaign with the Inquisitional Warband facing off against some Chaos Cultists, so that's really cool. That is also up on the website today, and I believe Dave will have an unboxing here on YouTube too. So yeah, check that out. If you have enjoyed the video, why not give us a follow? We do lots of unboxings like this, battle reports, painting videos, all that kind of cool stuff. We do have a Patreon link and a link to Element Games in the description, so if you would like to support the site, we get a little bit of a kickback if you use that Element links kind of link as well, and obviously buying from Element you'll save yourself a little bit of money too, so any help there is much appreciated. But until next time, hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.